Look! It just came out! Look at that!
I love it.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of After Hours. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I am here with the Whack Pack, Greg Valentino, John Bravo, Armando Dibi, Mr. G, and Richard Rodriguez. John Romano is in Arizona, I'm being told, on vacation. And Jimmy the Bull was in the hospital last night. He didn't respond to me after he sent that to me. He was very upset that everyone was badgering him about not making it out to Las Vegas. I said, Jimmy, we love you still. Don't worry about it. And they
for what? What's in there for?
Well, I don't know. Jimmy was supposed to go to Vegas, with Lee Priest. I think Lee is mad at him because Lee went all the way to Vegas to hang out with Jimmy, and Jimmy didn't show up. And I guess Romano and Lee kind of did a picture with their fingers up.
Yeah.
And Jimmy took it very personally, and he's very upset. And then Jimmy wound up going to the hospital last night. I don't know. Let me see if I can pull up his text.
His back has been. First of all, his back has been bothering him. I think his purse is up. He's got to get back in fighting shape.
Yeah.
Oh. He's got to lose. No, nothing for nothing. Jimmy should get back in the fight. He's got to lose like 30 pounds.
I don't blame him for not going though.
He's not. I was told that it was complete waste of time, man. Like Kevin,
who the fuck wants to see that shit? To me,
Kevin told me.
Jimmy.
Kevin. Oh my God.
Why does he have a mask on?
Because he's in the hospital. They make you wear masks in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I was talking to Lavroni because he had a booth over there, and he was telling me it's like, man, this is not like it was, the prior years. It's really the sport is really dying, man.
It's like, horrible.
It was never good. The Arnold was always had entertainment, but the Olympia was like zero entertainment.
Yeah, but guys, don't forget, it's Christmas time now. They had to change it to December, so it's obviously people are doing family things and stuff like that, so that affects.
That's not it, though. It's been bad for years.
It's not just that. First of all, those guys all fucking on stage are so fucking. It just don't look right anymore. I don't know. I like when everybody had signature poses, signature physiques. That guy Hattie could not beat no fucking Ronnie Coleman in his prime or Jay Cutler or any of those guys. I mean, those guys.
You guys have to understand. The judges judge what's up there. There were a lot of guys in this show who could have won this show. And had they come in shape, the problem is Brandon Curry wasn't in shape. He could have won the show. Ramy wasn't in shape. Could have won the show. Even Labrada could have won the show had he been in shape, and they didn't show up at their best. And that's why the two guys that were their best, Derek Lunsford, who was a 212 Olympia champ last year, and Hadi Chupin, who's there every single year, third place. He moved into the number one spot.
Maybe Ramy was pre-conditioned. Maybe Ramy was pre-conditioned.
He was the best bodybuilder in the world on Saturday, and that's all that matters. And so
that's not an Olympia physique. You and I have been going to the Olympia. I fucking been going to the Olympia.
I agree. I don't think he's going to be in there for many years in a row. I don't think he's going to be. I think he was the best guy on that day, and that's all they can ever. And you know what? I say shame on the other guys that can't show up in shape. Everyone was chasing Ramy because they thought he was huge, and they tried to come in bigger and fuller, and it backfired on them. That's all.
I think they had the judging too late, Dave. Did they start too late?
I just think it's going to be a runoff, just like when Samir Bannout won. He had that 1 year, and then after that, it's like nothing ever since.
More than likely,
it's too much drugs. Yeah. Too much fucking drugs today.
Yeah.
Well, wait a second, Dave. Let me ask you a question. You know how
small guys are weighing fucking 250 pounds. It's too much drugs. When you get that much chemicals in you, it's so easy to get thrown off. Fucking eat a jelly bean, pick your nose and eat it, and you fucking throw your whole body.
You know what, Greg? You know what it is? These guys.
I'm sorry. I love drugs, but not
we talked about last night.
These guys carb up on ridiculous amounts of carbs with a ridiculous amount of insulin. And there's no reason to do that. You and I know that, but they think they got to do these, and then they have to nail themselves with tons of diuretics because they overdo the carbs, and it's like you're going up and then coming down, and then.
Yeah, but whose fault is that?
Ramy's putting pictures up from hold on.
Ramy's ruined this sport.
Ramy's putting pictures up from a week ago. He looked like he could have won the Olympia easily.
That's
These
what I was
guys
about
fucked
to
it up
say.
the last week all the time. doing stupid, kooky stuff. I say it all the time. Don't do anything different. If you're in shape and you're ready a week out, don't change anything.
Dave, that's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
but that's
say.
because
Wait, Richard, listen, Ramy's known for not being being conditioned, right? He should be, right? This year he came in the best condition he ever did, right? But he lost a lot of muscle. So, and you look at the pictures of him prior to Olympia, like Dave was saying. So maybe too much conditioning affected him.
Too much drugs loaded.
I'm pulling up the picture that Dennis James put up of Ramy. Watch this.
100%. He looked way better. That's exactly what I said.
That was before the weekend, and then the Olympia weekend. You know, I thought he had hold on. I thought he had another.
Too much insulin, too much sugar,
Look
at how good he looks.
Diuretics.
Dave, does they show his back there? Does it have a back shot?
I'm looking. Hold on.
I would love
Look
to
at how
see
good
his
he
back.
looked. He was perfect.
Yeah.
Amazing.
On the Olympia, you know what? Because then they got to put pie filling and insulin, and they got to nail in the diuretics. And then on top of that, Ramy's physique changes very easily. Chris Cicino said, making these guys wait 8 hours, backstage to get on stage, so all the women can go first. That's
what I was saying, Dave.
No, but
before
that's chemical.
I mentioned
Look
that.
how fucking late they all went on. Wasn't it like
chemicals.
midnight when they all ended up on stage?
They
Too much chemicals. That's why. How do you change from hour to hour? It's because of chemicals. It's not like, oh my God.
Some people, look,
that's a lot of insulin and a lot of sugar.
Right.
They
you know when
fall
it
over,
started?
and then
Guys,
diuretics.
let me speak to you from experience. Do you know when this shit started? Believe it or not, Tim Belknap used to, on the day of a show on Saturday, looked unfucking believable, full, ripped, shredded, and everything. By Monday, with his photo shoot, he was fucking like, people like, wait, that's the same guy that won the show? Fucking Saturday night, it's Monday.
But Greg, he was an insulin-dependent diabetic.
Right.
So he had terrible rebounds after.
But what's your name? Dave. That's fucking what I'm talking about.
But Greg, he looked good on the day of the show. Why can't these guys look good on the day of the show? I don't care if they look like shit for their photo shoot 2 days later.
Yeah, but it's not real. It's not muscle. You throw those guys on a fucking desert island.
It's a coach. At the end of the day, it all falls down on the coach. Who preps them? Who preps them? It all falls down to the coach. I'm sorry to say, man.
Chad Nichols.
Listen, I love steroids and but that's
Chad's known for a lot of sugar, a lot of insulin, spills over a lot, and then diuretics, and then they get a messed up look. So he gets it like we were talking about last night, Dave and I, the same thing. Just too much insulin, tons of sugar, tons of carbon up, spills over, does the diuretics, and then they get that shitty look that Ramy had or William Bonac had. So,
but that's what I'm saying. You might as well hit the fucking price.
Listen to me. Just look.
Get nice and swollen. That's what they look like to me. Dude, even Rich Piana, Dave, Rich Piana used to say that when he would go to an expo, and Jerry Ward and I used to talk about this. I'm good friends with fucking Chanel. Yeah. He would fucking take a lot of insulin. Dude, he would blow up. They'd be 25 pounds heavier. You see him fucking a couple days later. It's like, what the fuck happened from Saturday to fucking...
Greg, stop for a second.
Dave is going to slap people today.
If in a week out, you look amazing, okay? Those pictures are Ramy, all right? If you look like that in a week out, okay, why would you change anything? Why would you try to carve this body up, another 10 pounds? Or why would you give them massive amounts of diuretics? Which what happens is they overcarb these guys, then they have to over-diuretic them, and then it messes up the balance of where the water is. It's all in the wrong places. Don't fucking do anything with this guy. You did a great job. You got him in the best shape of his life. Let the guy enjoy it now. I don't
listen. Maybe fucking Greg sent them 10 enemas. That's why he got.
Dude,
you know what? They'll blame Ramy. They'll blame Ramy for this. They'll say Ramy didn't cheat or didn't listen. That'll be the story, guaranteed.
Dude, we just heard. Armand just told us a great story. Young guy taking a lot of shit, fucking listening to his coach. Now the kid's on fucking kidney dialysis, needs a kidney transplant, and he's young. Well, that's because these fucking guys, dude, bring back my era. Let's go back with the just normal like steroids and shit like that. Too much fucking shit.
It's never gonna happen.
We need to educate people in this era as to, given what they're using. Look, it's the last 2 weeks that people do kooky, crazy shit. You know why? because they think that that's what you need to do to win at the highest level. And it's not. The work you do the 16 weeks prior to that last week is why you look so good, okay? You don't need to do anything crazy. I don't understand why guys do this. It's nuts.
But
It's
not
just- it's
one
both.
guy looked good. Not one. The whole fucking lineup looked like bloated.
Well, because they're all doing the same thing, because they're all thinking, well, that guy's doing it, I got to do it too.
Well, then
It's
they're fucking
both. A lot
momos. You don't know. You got to listen to get rid of some of these gurus or these coaches. You're gonna kill these guys.
Look, you know what, Greg? I don't blame the gurus. I don't blame the gurus. I blame the people who listen to them. That's all. If you're going to listen to someone,
friends, you know what?
But Dave, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I know how you're protecting the gurus, but in all honesty, it's like
I'm not protecting the gurus. You know why?
A lot of these
have
people
to listen to them. You don't have to listen to them.
But a lot of these people don't really have much going for themselves and are heavily reliant on people that supposedly have the experience in the background. It's just like somebody coming to you and being like, "Hey, Dave, you're a subject matter expert. I confide in you. I believe in your experience and background. So you tell me to jump, I'm going to say how fucking high."
How come Hani Rambad's guys all look good on stage? Hottie, Derek Lunsford.
He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Because Hottie's old school, that's why.
Because Hottie doesn't do stupid, crazy shit at the end. That's
you
why.
and I both know we have a friend, a mutual friend. You remember T and all them? They fucking died from insulin. These guys don't realize it. You want to commit suicide? Take a fucking syringe.
Yeah, but you know, Troy didn't listen to anyone.
I know that, but then his protege died. Fucking, you calling me up crying over Troy, and then he fucking dies.
If you're a competitor listening to this, and your coach is telling you to do kooky, crazy shit the last week, run for the hills. Don't listen to him. That's the best advice I
You
can
got
give
the
you.
client too, though. Guys. You got the client because the client is like let's say I've got some of Chad and Matt's clients. They're like, "Hey, are we going to load on this and do all this syrup and do this?" We're like, "No," and they really they're pushing you to do it. And no, I don't do it that way. And so they could go do shit on their own because they think they have to do all this weird shit at the end. And it's not like that. No, just like nobody else has to talk about it. But just for instance, the classic physique guy, Logan Franklin, you hear one side, it's all the coach's fault. And the other side, it's all, Logan's fault. Like, I'm sure it meets in the middle. What's the truth? But, They're
momos. I'm telling you, they're momos. You can't, come on, you got to know. Experience teaches you, oh fuck, last time I did that, I got fucked up. They shouldn't do it anymore, but they keep doing it and they keep listening to these guys. If some of these coaches said, listen, take ass hair in a capsule, these fucking guys would be like, I gotta take ass hair in a capsule because he said so. Stop listening to these guys. And I think they should ban insulin from fucking
I was gonna say no insulin.
First of all, let me tell you something. Insulin makes you so fucking bloated that you can't even breathe anyway.
But you know what?
It's too much insulin.
I was going to say, there is a right way to do things and a wrong way. It's when you start doing extremes, that's when the problem happens. I mean, this moron in the chat, he's like, I don't know if he's being funny or what. He's like,
isn't insulin extreme?
If you're Chad's abilities, you're a clown. I'm like, I'm questioning ridiculous.
I don't listen to these fucking guys. What's the matter? Come on.
Yeah.
Do an ice bath. An ice bath before.
Chad
it increases your testosterone by 500%.
Look, there are some people that don't do well at shows because of stress. I think that Ian Valier at the biggest shows, he allows his anxiety to get the best of him a lot of times because he looks great at all the other shows he does, and then he does the Olympia and his physique falls apart. Mm-hmm. That's a different story. Okay, I'm talking about guys that look great at a week out, and then they do crazy, protocols, and it messes them up, and they look worse. Okay, if a person is very sensitive, like Greg's suggesting, maybe because they're on drugs, maybe just because they weigh 300 pounds, then don't do crazy things with them. Do gradual, small little changes to their body so that you don't have those huge swings of water up and down. Because once, like Chris Aceto said, you can give one guy a half a diazide and he may lose 18 pounds from it, whereas a normal person would lose 3 pounds or 4 pounds. And if that guy loses 18 pounds, now what do? Now you got to try to get that water back and you got to try to carve them up and you do extreme things. So you don't want to be experimenting the week of the show. You want to know how the body reacts prior to that.
Dave, these guys have all competed many times. You don't know what you're doing by now. This is not your first show. You don't know that. Oh my God! Well, I'm gonna get bloated from taking all this shit or whatever. You
Greg,
don't
you know
know.
what? You know what
You
the
don't
true
fucking
definition
know.
of it? You know what the true definition of insanity is?
Keep doing
Over
the
and
same
over
thing
again,
and
expect
expecting different results.
Right, and that's what they do. They say, "Well, you know what? We'll just change a little bit here. I think he was sick, or he had food poisoning. There's a million excuses why it didn't work.
Bullshit.
We'll try it
You know
again
what?
next year." You know.
They need to listen to After Hours and learn the real way to do shit. Stop fucking around, you fucking momos.
Yeah, Ice Bear. Ice
Fucking,
Bear.
listen to us. We know. Stop fucking around. How about
Look,
that?
One of the guys' diuretic protocols. I showed Dave last night. That was on the.
I couldn't believe it. Greg, this protocol had this guy, I'm not going to say who it was or who the coach was, doing a full diazide every other day for 3 weeks.
Dude, that's
What?
And
That's
then doing 2 Demodex a day, right, for the last 2 days or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, nuts.
But you know what? He should be fucking banned from training anybody. That's sick. That's
Bro, he
fucked
trains
up.
a lot of people. He trains
Yeah.
a lot of people.
I know.
man.
I know. You said the name before. I know.
Well,
I've heard
Isn't
the guy.
diazide for high blood pressure? What is that drug actually for?
It's a water diuretic. It's but it's
for high
utilized as
blood
a
When you
For
give a
hypertension.
bodybuilder diazide
Right.
for a prolonged period of time, what happens is, because they're losing so much sodium in water every day, their body raises the hormone aldosterone through the roof. Because the body doesn't want to lose all that sodium in water. So and that makes you very sodium sensitive, because aldosterone makes you absorb sodium in water. So you're doing exactly what you don't want. You're making yourself crazy sodium sensitive. Now, if you eat something that has too much salt in it, you're going to retain a ridiculous amount of water. Not to mention that the body is very catabolic when it's in a dehydrated state. There's no reason, if you're following a normal diet, which is pretty much low to moderate carbs, right, that you're going to hold excessive water for 3. Who cares? It only takes 18 hours to get rid of water. Why would you deplete water over a 3-week period of time?
Dude, work out. Go fucking work out. You'll get rid of that water.
It's insane, though. It's insane. It's dangerous.
Dave, am I right or wrong?
It's
Work out a little bit.
unnecessarily dangerous. It's unnecessarily
You
dangerous.
start cramping up like a maniac.
Dude,
Yeah,
back
the
in
coaches
the day
that
when
do- that don't do much
I
diuretic.
took Hyperdiol, Dave, which is
Like you
fucking
said,
nothing.
Like you
I
said,
took
Hani.
one the day of
Hani
the show.
doesn't use much diuretics at
Yeah.
all. With Hani
You
doesn't
shouldn't
use
have
much
to.
diuretics at all.
You shouldn't have to. If you can manipulate a person's
Dave
diet by
doesn't
giving
either.
them high sodium, having them drink enough water, their aldosterone should be really low, which would mean their propensity to hold water should be very low. So I don't understand why guys have. I mean, I use like a half a diazide, maybe 2 halves the day before a show. Never. As a matter of fact, and that sometimes it's too much, because I feed people sodium the whole diet, and I don't ever let them take any diuretics, so their aldosterone levels are low. And so I don't understand why people need to nail people with so many diuretics. It doesn't make sense.
I would take like 1/3 of one or 1/4 of a diuretic. Dave helped me. We did that, and these guys are taking 6 diazides for days in a row. It's crazy. Of course, you're going to look like shit.
And that's how people
They start
die,
pissing
though.
blood.
Yeah.
That's what dude, in 1988, I was with fucking Tanya Knight. And I remember she had, we were all out to eat, and she would take out a little salt shaker, right? And she put even a pinch of salt in her water, put salt on everything. And I said, why are you doing that? And she said to me, because my body gets so used to that salt. At first, you're going to gain water, but then after a while, your body struggles to maintain homeostasis, which means normality. She said, after a while, my body gets so used to the sodium, it starts dumping sodium like that. So when I actually cut my sodium the last couple of days, she said, my body's like, holy shit. Like, the water levels drop. And she was right. These people, look at Mike fucking Matarazzo. He didn't have to eat any carbs, and he got on stage and was fucking thick, full, and everything. I just think that this insulin shit is making guys fucking too bloated, too ugly physiques. Their guts are wide. Hani, whatever the fuck his name is, that guy that just won the Olympia. His fucking waist looked like it was a 40-inch ripped waist. It just doesn't look good to me. I'm sorry. That's just me. Maybe guys are going to be like, look at you, shut up, whatever.
What did you think of Derek Lunsford? He came in second.
I mean, he looked better.
Well, he has a teeny waist.
That guy looked the
He
guy
has
that
a
put
tiny
second
waist.
looked better.
He would be the equivalent of like you on stage because of the height, of his height.
How
The front
dare
double
you?
biceps crazy.
Yeah.
Well, but see, that's what I'm saying. But these guys, they're not giving it to the best. I don't know. I look
It's
at
the
that.
judges too, though, Greg.
That's
It's the judge.
an Olympia physique, though. these
It's
guys.
the judges too.
Wait, Greg,
along
what
the
did you think
years.
about Samson?
You go to nationals, get
Samson,
bigger, get
the
bigger,
guy who
get
plays
bigger.
six.
I didn't really
Great.
see. You know, I mean, I saw just a little bit of that stuff. I don't really know who the hell that guy is.
There's Lunsford. Don't you like that physique, Greg?
Yeah, of course, I love that physique,
That's second place.
dude. He should have won.
He won
He
the
will.
212
will.
Olympia last year. I
He
mean,
should
come
have
on.
won. The guy should have won. That guy should
Well,
have
it
won.
was.
Right there.
I think Hottie's a little bigger than him, and I think next year this could be Derek's show for all we know.
Yeah, but you can't just go by size. His structure. Hottie's got an ugly physique. You know,
But
to me, I know this
I
guy's
had him. I still had him winning though, just because the sheer muscle maturity and thickness when they were next to each other. Even though it's not. I mean, look at. If we talk about structures, a lot of people's structures are messed up. But when they were next to each other, Hottie was just so much thicker. Even though, his waist, is a little thick. Compared to Derek's. Derek didn't have that dense muscle in the chest like Hottie did. So it's just like. You talk to Steve Weinberger, he'll give you every single reason why Hottie won over, and that's their judge criteria. We might not like exactly what their criteria is, but that's the criteria for the IFBB. Just like when we were, when I was competing coming up, the judges kept saying, get bigger, get bigger, get bigger. Like, I'm 230 on stage. How much bigger can I get? Like, shredded to the bone. It's kind of like, so these guys are listening to what other people are telling them to do. Get bigger, so they get bigger. What happens? Their waist gets bigger, structure gets different, and
my 2 cents on the whole thing is I think that Derek and Hottie were neck and neck. I mean, after prejudging, it was a 1-point decision in favor of Hottie. I believe that they gave Hottie the win because he's been there 3 years in a row in third place. He's consistent. He has a great story where he came from in Iran and how he came here and how he had visa issues and he's hearing impaired. It's a great feel-good story to put him in there.
Yeah, what's going on there now?
He was a little bigger than Derek, and the conditioning was about the same, and so they gave it to Hottie. But I really believe the future of this division is probably Derek Lunsford. So if Derek comes back next year with the same conditioning, 5 pounds heavier, I think he wins the Olympia, unless some of these other guys step up to the plate. Samson Dowda, who looks amazing. Brandon Curry, who could have been drier. He made another mistake. He also made that mistake of coming in too full. Hunter Labrada, who was a little off at this show. So I think that this is going to be exciting these next few years. The fact that they displaced the current, and Ramy could come back next year and win again. So it's exciting. We don't know who's going to win. Never in the history of the sport has it been like so open-ended to know, like, we don't even know who's going to win the Olympia next year.
But Dave, in boxing, there's an old saying: styles make fights.
Somebody's mic, by the way. Somebody's mic is way too loud.
Styles make fights. You can't get a guy. If a guy's got great lines, it's better
Richard.
that he comes in smaller, more aesthetic.
Really?
With a better
massive
physique.
bad feedback.
Styles make fights, bro. You can't try to look what happened when Rich Gaspari played second every year to Lee Haney. Then he tried to match him muscle wise and gained weight. And what happened? Same thing happened to Samir Banu. They put on weight to try to get bigger to match the bigger guys like Haney, and they lost. They dropped far down. You know that, Dave, and that's because you got to go with what got you there. You got to go. You got this beautiful physique with a small waist and the great V tape and the whole bit. You cannot fucking try to outmuscle some guy who's just a moose. You know what I mean? That's why Marcus Rule didn't win the Olympias and lost the guys who had, he was bigger than even Ronnie. If you saw
it's hard to keep those small waists when you have to get that big, though.
But I'm saying structure should mean something in this sport. You know what I mean? It's
by the way, in case you guys didn't know, I'm known for increasing diuretics at the end of his client's prep. A liar. Armand. You want to answer that?
Dave.
Dave
I met
Benedict Arnold.
Listen to this, guys. I met Dave in 2007. I was doing the junior nationals. He was sitting over there. I was a fan of Dave's, obviously. He was sitting over there. He called me over. He was like, "Hey, you look great. What's your name? Blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm rolling flat." He asked me what I did for my diuretic protocol. It was one of those crazy diuretic protocols that this guy gave me. So I worked with Dave the next year. you know, and so I'm used to just taking this big, crazy protocols. Dave's like, yeah, we're doing probably like half a dozen. I'm like, is that all I need? Dave's like, dude, you're ripped. You don't need anything. Dave prepped me for that show and probably another 4 or 5 shows.
Yeah.
Never more than a half a diet, or I do 1/4
No reason.
side.
Yep. No reason.
And
Dave,
You probably placed higher, right?
And I've sent clients to Dave of mine that they didn't want to listen to me. I said maybe they'll listen to Dave. And the same thing, small diuretics. Dave, I've never heard Dave give anybody much diuretics at all.
I don't even have most of my clients don't even ever cramp because I don't give them enough to even let them cramp. And I feed them sodium the day of the show. So
I don't know you, Dave.
And my guys are dry as a bone. You don't need a lot of diuretic. It's not necessary.
They don't know you. You know what it is? My friend's whose friend trained with Palumbo and Dave fucked them up. They don't even know you. They have no clue.
That's just
making stuff up. They're making it up.
They have no shit. You know, they'll sit here and blast. He's got the best fucking protein and all this other shit. And people's shit, whatever. Don't listen to these fucking guys. They never even took your supplements. They'll blast your shit.
I know. There's trolls out there.
They're everywhere. You know?
Let's go. Since we're in a ranting mood right now, we're outraged. I want to bring up another story. This story is so crazy. You guys are gonna lose your mind by it. It's not bodybuilding related, but it's you know, we like to bring all this shit up. So there's these
Amber Heard settlement.
No, these 2 older ladies.
Dude, I live in the bathroom a week.
These women, hold on. These 2 women got arrested for feeding stray cats. One was 85, one was 61. And what they were doing is they would put food down and they would capture the cats and they would neuter or spay them so that it wouldn't be an overpopulation of the cats.
Wow.
Yeah. And they were doing it in a public park and they arrested these fucking women. Can you fucking believe it?
Well,
in Alabama.
What state was this?
What? Yeah, but
Alabama.
Are they
That's why in fucking Alabama. Who knows what they do over there?
Yeah, but who the fuck gives them a right to spay or neuter a fucking cat?
They're strays, Greg.
What the fuck?
Greg, they're strays. It's called population control of stray cats. That's why they do it.
Yeah, but are they licensed doctors? How do you know? What do you
No, they're not doing it themselves. They're bringing them to like a vet doing it.
Oh, I thought you said right there in the park.
They got arrested for feeding the cats. The reason why they were feeding the cats is that's how they captured the cats so that they can then bring them to the vets and get them humanely neutered and spayed, and then they release them back. And then this way they don't breed and have a million kittens all over the place.
I think I need
a good gesture turned into a fucking.
So they actually,
what are they charged with? What crime?
One of the ladies, 86 years old. How long is she gonna go to prison for? She's about to die any day.
They gave them a suspended sentence, but they.
Was it animal cruelty? What is it?
Why? Because they're feeding the animals.
Because it was in a public park. That's why they were saying that they couldn't do that. I don't know.
Oh, so if it was in their house and they put cat food out, it's okay.
Yeah, all these stray cat groups that are out there that try to find homes for this. They're going crazy. These animal rights people now they're gonna like shut the government down in Alabama for this. There's no more powerful lobby in this country than the animal rights groups. I got news for you.
You don't fuck with them.
They're scary. They're scary.
What about people? They care more about animals than people.
Oh, they do definitely. Yeah.
For some reason, I can picture Greg having like 30 cats around his house.
No, I'm allergic. I got dogs. I got reptiles like Dave. I had Dave's gecko. It died recently.
I know.
Really? I didn't know you had reptiles.
I didn't even know if it was a female or male, but I called it Dave.
Greg, how come you didn't show it to us on your house tour? You didn't show us all the reptiles on your house tour.
Well, I get the reptiles.
That's part 2. That's part 2.
Turtles and all that shit.
I had no idea. I don't think people fucking know that either. You should show it to them.
Yeah, no, me and Dave, I like what Dave. Me and Dave are on the same path with that shit.
Yeah. If that's why, Greg, I'm trying to get you down here. If I can get you down to Florida, man, we would be hanging out every day together. We'd be breaking bread.
Forget about it. I corrupt your kids.
Yeah, they have geckos all over the place, lizards. They have these lizards that are like 4 feet long. In my backyard.
PJ Braun was into that too, remember?
Yeah, PJ bought a pair of snakes for me, actually. He had 2 carpet pythons of mine that he came and bought.
Dave, remember, Dave has a room, and when he lived in New York, it was all fucking drawers with fucking snakes. I went in there.
I have a whole building now, guys.
Wait, you have no idea.
I felt bad for the snakes and Dave.
When
He
he would
showed,
open up
showed
that-
it to us in one of the videos he did, and they're all in fucking drawers lined up in the
But
whole
they
fucking
like
wall.
that.
That's how they live in the
that,
wild.
though.
That's how they live
Like
in the wild.
dark cubby
Yeah.
holes and shit.
But you don't
Dude,
feel
he
bad
was-
for them, Dave?
No, but that's how they live in the wild. They like
That's how they
small
live in the
spaces.
I feel bad for the mice. The rats.
It's not like
that
a
might be
dog. You
alive.
keep it in there.
No,
Oh,
you got to smell
Yeah.
them rats, though. Holy fuck. When he would open up that thing with them rats, that shit stunk.
Yeah, I don't breed rats. I hate the smell of them. But you have to feed them once a week. You got to feed the snakes.
I know. Dave's putting a rat in every drawer like this. I'm like, oh,
Look at this guy. Hold on. I'll show you some of the stuff. Oh wait, hold on. I got it.
I had to work at an animal clinic before when I had for labor detail. So you don't go to jail. You could do labor detail days instead. And
Right.
I thought you were going to say when you had to prep for a show. I was like, oh, so that's how you were getting your products.
How do you like that, Greg? That's a blue tongue skink.
shit. Is that
what is
yours?
that?
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
mine.
snake?
It's a blue tongue skink. It's an ivory blue tongue skink. Pretty cool, right?
But you feed that crickets, though, right?
That eats cat food. Believe it or not, those guys.
Oh, shit. See,
They're
I
carnivores.
don't that.
Yeah, they like cat food.
Wait, you got those? You raise those now, Dave?
I have not been able to breed them yet. I'm working on it. Here's a king cobra at my friend Tom Crutchfield's house. If you see at the bottom of the screen there,
Holy Christ.
You have one of those, Dave?
Oh,
King
wow.
Cobra?
I don't have any venomous stuff. That's a friend of mine's. He keeps venomous stuff. So.
Dave, you're in Florida. Do you have geckos on your house and shit like that, like running around
Yeah,
outside?
you're all over the place. That's
Yeah,
my-
they run up the screens.
Yeah,
that's
they
my-
go
on
that's-
that
It's called.
They
Oh,
even
yeah,
have that
cool.
shit here in Miami Beach.
vacation down there.
They even have that shit in
I
Miami
named the
Beach.
anaconda Annie Hall from the Woody Allen movie. So that's Annie Hall.
Annie Hall.
Do you still have dogs,
Dave,
Dave?
what would you do if one
Yeah, I got my
snuck
two
out
little
and
dogs.
snuck in your fucking bed when you're sleeping?
No, I have them in a different building. They're not in my. They're not
Oh,
even in
okay,
the
they're
same
not
house.
attached to
They're
the
not in my
house.
house. They're not.
I'm
in my house.
scared. I'm scared of snakes.
Me too. I'm scared shitless, man. They come
I'm
bite your
fr-
dick.
Oh, you should go to Dave's. He's got a
Gotta go
big,
to- Yeah.
big
Spiders.
giant warehouse in the
Albino
back
water
of his
monitor.
yard.
I'm
Yeah.
growing this thing up. This thing will get to like 6 feet. This
That thing?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a baby right now, but
That's
I'm
crazy.
training it. So,
Dave,
anyway.
any reptiles you don't want, send this way. If they're old, I'll take care of them.
I
in
want to send you a
Arizona-
couple ball pythons to keep as pets.
Dave, in
You want them?
Arizona,
I'll
there's
take it.
rattlesnakes
Fine,
all
I'll
over
take
my
it.
fucking house over there. Almost
You got to
got my
buy a
dog-
tank with a heater under it, though.
I have all that shit here.
Oh, you do?
I got-
Oh, okay.
Dave,
I got
When I
tanks
was
that
in
I can
Arizona-
use. I got them
when I was
big.
in Arizona, all rattlesnakes in the front and backyard. My house was fucking infested. They almost killed my fucking dog. One day
Oh,
I'm
really?
outside. Look, I like peeing outside by the tree. I don't know why. Since I was a kid, I like peeing outside. One time I'm peeing, it's nighttime. Look, one time I'm pissing outside, right? And then all of a sudden I hear like the water. I thought the water hose was on. I looked fucking down. It was a rattlesnake. I was pissing, almost biting my fucking dick.
Oh,
Yeah, my dogs were outside with me too. I had to rush them in because my dogs were fucking with them, and they'll kill them. Even a human can die
You-
from rattlesnakes.
So you're a public pisser?
Dude,
Holy.
hey,
That is
did you
house.
guys ever hear the story that I did for Generation Iron when I went to King Buffet out here where I live? The rats. I went behind a dumpster because there's always somebody in the bathroom in King
Yeah,
Buffet.
me too. Greg, same thing. I don't want to deal with it. I just
Wait,
piss
listen, I
everywhere.
went behind a dumpster. I pulled my pants up, but I had a shit. I pulled my pants down.
Imagine
down
that.
my
Imagine
ankle,
that.
and all of a sudden, I hear what sounds like a subway going underneath the fucking. And it was thousands of gigundo rats, and they were jumping through my underwear like this,
No
like
way.
between my legs. Ask my girlfriend. I did a whole video. Ask my girlfriend.
when,
They
just
were
recently?
jumping. I was afraid to pull my pants up because I didn't want to catch one of the rats. They were jumping like jumping through a hoop. They were jumping between my legs. I had to hold my gagoots so they didn't bite me.
So wait, how did you clean
we were, like,
yourself
through
up with all
fucking
this
underwear.
shit all over? There's probably shit all over the place.
Dude,
I
I
see those
shit, I
rat
couldn't
rat
believe it.
catching groups in New York that they go out at night and they catch all the rats, like to keep. them
Oh,
off
you
the
couldn't
street.
catch
You
these.
can't
These
catch
were-
all those rats, yeah.
I wish I had a video because there was so many. If there was
Hold on, Greg,
thousands,
didn't
they
you
would
tell
fight
me-
each other. It
Didn't
was
you tell me?
crazy.
Hold on, Greg. Didn't you tell me a story once that you went to some really hot chick's apartment
Yes.
in Manhattan and there were
I was
rats
with
crawling
my
on the
bottom
bed?
too.
Is
Yeah.
that true?
I was laying on the first of all, I was with this girl once, and I was laying on the floor because I couldn't go to her bedroom. There's all rats everywhere. Dude, there was cockroaches on the ceiling. It was loaded. It was on
What the
Allerton Avenue in the Bronx.
Wow.
So I was laying on the floor.
No, that's your problem. You went to the
And
Bronx.
dude, wait,
You're talking to somebody
underneath
that
the
lived in the
fucking-
projects.
Underneath the bed, underneath the fucking couch, all you saw is these little shadows. So I was like, I can't do this. So I go back with Bob Bonham and my other friend. We're over there, and we're in the kitchen. She had to keep everything in the refrigerator, plates, knives, because you open up the cupboards, it looked like a movie. There's rats. Anyway.
Greg, how does someone live there? How could you live in that apartment like that?
I didn't live there. She did.
No, I know. How did she live there? Why would she?
That's
They're
how they
used to that shit.
They get used to it. They become their fucking friends, their pets. They feed them.
No,
They're used to that.
or they
listen.
probably didn't have an alternative. You know,
Wait,
like
listen
you
to
know,
this. We're sitting there, and all of a sudden, in the kitchen, the garbage pail's going back and forth. It's rocking like this. I said, "What the fuck is that?" He goes, "Oh, one of the rats must have got stuck in the garbage floor, and he can't get out." So and she opens up the window. She's 5 fucking stories up, and she throws the rat right out the window.
She picked up the rat?
Dude, no, she stuffed the garbage pail. But the thing is, and there was a couple rats. Listen, but the thing is, imagine somebody walking down below on a sidewalk. These fucking rats get down.
Holy shit!
And I told her, you're stupid because those fucking rats will find their way right back in. Dude, the only way to get rid of that, you'd have to burn the whole building down. There's no way. They're in the pipes. They're in.
Wait a second, Greg. Guys,
hold on.
Wait, Richard.
This is further.
I still can't get this vision out of my fucking head. Imagine. Listen to this. Imagine being in the Chinese food place, going by the dumpster and seeing Greg, this asshole, pulling his pants down, sitting on the fucking floor. I can't get this vision out of my fucking head.
But even worse, this is further evidence to show you that Greg, when he's fucking horny, you could put him in a fucking place full of rats, cockroaches, and all that other shit. If there's a vagina for him to tap, he's gonna tap that vagina.
That's right, because I would.
And there doesn't even have to be a vagina there, Richard. You know that, right?
Boricua. She's Puerto Rican, Boricua. You know what that shit? That's my song, bro. I love Boricua. That's my favorite flavor. But I was laying. That's Puerto Rican for you people that don't know.
Greg, why don't you just fucking wear? Why don't you just wear diapers? The adult diapers.
Dude, every time I go to the buffet, the King buffet, the fucking Chinese food, it just causes a tsunami inside me. You know what I mean? Dude, I was probably shitting right on top of these rats. I was going to use a rat to wipe my ass with the back of a rat.
Oh my God.
Dude, they were all over the place. And no joke, my girlfriend was laughing because she had put the headlights on. And I was screaming like a girl in a horror movie because I didn't want to get my pants up.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on, Greg. Since you seem to be an expert in rats and buildings, when you're sleeping in this girl's room, okay, with her, I mean, what did the rats come on the bed with you? I mean, how bad is it?
They go on the bed, dude. They had to.
It was a menage. It was a menage a trois. Like
I'm so freaked out. I'd run out of there.
Her sister lived there too. Her sister had a baby. They kept it in like a cage so the rats couldn't get in there.
Oh my God! Holy shit!
They had a giant bird cage, and the kid was laying in a bird cage because they didn't want the rat. They put a top on it. You know, it was an infant, but they didn't want the rats to get in that fucking cage. Meanwhile, it was cockroaches on the kid's blanket.
Dude, Greg's life is like a fucking movie.
You think those rats would
stayed over there
baby,
except
Greg?
for Greg? Shit.
What's that?
Would anybody else stay over there except Greg?
Hold on.
Greg, I just want to ask you one question. I just want to ask one question. Was it worth it? Was it a good piece of ass?
Oh, it was worth it, dude. I actually dated her for a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was worth it. But listen, dude, I used to eat that ass and shit. But listen,
what were the rats' names, Dave?
Dude, I was eating the ass. And I'm
but wait a second, Greg, while you're doing all this, Greg,
I'm eating.
You know how you have to bring like a bottle of wine over to someone's house when you go over there, or a cake? Greg had to bring like rat feed, so they'd throw it on the floor so the rats would stay away from them.
But what I want to know is how Greg's dick stayed hard this whole time, thinking the fucking rat's gonna bite it off while he's fucking her.
Dude, Puerto Rican is one of my favorite flavors, bro. Latina, my favorite flavor. Look, I'm eating her ass, and I remember I was watching. And there's the back of the couches here, and I'm watching this rat run across the couch. While I'm over there like this, I'm watching that shit.
And you stayed hard that whole time,
dude. Allerton Avenue, the second building off of right there, off of the parkway there, right there, the second building. Wow. Oh my God, it was bad. Allerton Avenue.
I wonder why they couldn't poison those rats with
you can't. She even said you can't do anything. You can't do anything. And fucking, if they're in the walls, they're in the building. They come up for the pipes.
I think they're immune to all the rat poison. Is what they're immune to.
Dude, you flush that shit down the toilet, it comes right back up. They're crazy.
Oh my god,
dude, these are New York City rats. These aren't some country
rats.
rats.
They're like cats. These things. They're huge, right?
Oh yeah, very scary.
Bro, I seen them eating pigeons. They'll fucking you outside. You know, in New York City, we got pigeons everywhere.
Yeah.
The motherfuckers are catching pigeons and they're fucking eating it. And shit.
Wow.
They'll eat anything. They're fucking crazy over here. They'll run right up your leg.
No, you did hard that whole fucking time, Greg. To what you inject your dick with that shit.
I want hold on. Getting back to the Olympia, I want to ask. Armand's got some strong opinions about this. Armand, what did you think about Nick Walker? Because Nick Walker, prior to the show, was guaranteeing that he was going to win the show. And the funny thing is that he actually beat the guys that he needed to beat. He beat Ramy. He beat Brandon. He didn't think that Hottie and Derek were going to be the guys that he had to beat. But he did move up to third. What do you think of his physique?
I'm not a fan. Everybody knows that. People call me the Nick Walker hater. Of course, he's freaky. They compare him to Marcus Rule. No. Marcus Rule just had a different, crazy, cool look. I don't dislike big waist. Like, I love a lot of bodybuilders. Like, I just don't like Nick's physique for some reason. But he was all worried about Ramy. He thought it was him versus Ramy. He wasn't even worried about these other guys. Oh, they're too small, whatever. He got up there. He's posing when they put him in the middle. He had that big smile on face, like, yeah, I got this. He thought he won. And the little guys beat him. Not the little guys, but they're not little, but
the shorter guys.
The more asymmetrical.
These guys don't have one line in their shoulders anymore. There's not one striation in their shoulders. It's just
that's what I'm saying. Too bloated.
Now, do you think that that's because they're just shooting all their gear in their shoulders? That's why I think that happens.
Yeah, too much gear. It's like, I
don't know if it's too much. They're just putting it in body parts and that's smoothing the body part out. Greg, back in the 80s when guys would compete, wouldn't they stop all their injectables like 2 weeks out and they would just go to World?
Dude. Some didn't even train a week out. Would stop all that shit. Yup. They would stop any steroids because they didn't want bloat. You didn't at that point. If you don't have the muscle, forget it. You know what I'm saying?
They're past the point.
That's why the physiques look good back then. You can see Lee Haney had like a fucking 30-inch waist when he with a 70. It's 275. His fucking weight. I'm talking about in the off season. Is what I remember saying shit. I said, dude, your ass is like small. He said, stop looking at my ass.
Yeah, but when they're doing 10 mLs a day, when you run out of places to put it? Even if you
listen,
out, all the
you're talking to the king of sticking it in muscles. And I didn't give a shit about that. But I'm just saying, Lee Haney had this tiny ass, a little waist, and he was fucking 3 feet wide at the top. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But listen, guys, I got to run to the doctor. So
okay, all right.
Look at the doctor. Don't let them give you any more fucking fingers.
No enemas. No enemas. Yeah,
dude, I'm gonna do an enema right now, so I don't shit on the doctor's table.
Yeah, I told you have a finger stuck up there.
My girlfriend just started up the car. I'm gonna go run. I'm gonna shoot some water up my ass, so I don't have to. If I have to shit, it's actually a dentist, so he's gonna work on my one tooth that broke. I gotta fucking go. I don't want to have to take a shit in the middle of him doing that.
All right.
So, I love you guys. Hey,
you too, Greg. Take it easy.
Merry Christmas, Greg.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Greg.
I love all of you guys. All right.
Okay. Love you too, man.
Any you haters that are fucking watching this, you cocksuckers, I love you all.
We'll talk to you.
You're all good guys.
Stop fucking around.
Later, bro.
Anyway, I'll talk to you guys.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Wait, Greg, before you leave.
Yeah.
Is Hattie a good guy or a bad guy?
He's a good guy.
There you go. All right. All's good in the world now.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. She's a nice guy. Over in that country, they'll kill you. Fuck around like that.
What do you like? Do you like Sean Clarita's physique? 212 champ now?
I seen Sean Clarita. He used to go to Bob Bonham's gym all the time. He was just a little guy. He's got a great physique, but he's, Jesus Christ, what's he, 5'2", right?
Pretty short, yeah.
Yeah.
But he comes up to the gym that I go to.
He looks like a mini fucking Ronnie Coleman and shit. I think he looks great, to be honest with you.
I do too.
It's crazy in person. You would never think, like, because he goes to the gym, like, right down the street from me, Destination, where Gasp is at, because all the Gasp guys are there all the time. I don't know where he lives, but he's there all the time in town.
I thought he's a Jersey. He's a Jersey guy, you know.
Okay, yeah, he's here all the time, and gosh, you see him in person, even with this shirt on, you just like, he doesn't look like a bodybuilder, and he takes that off, and it's just insane, just to look like that.
Very round muscle, you know, very round muscle.
Yeah, it's wild.
And it was a tough 212 class too. To regain the Olympia title was had to be a great feather in his cap, you know.
Yeah, Derek made a really good decision coming up.
He used to come to all the Bros versus Pros challenges we would do back in the day, and he would never lift, but he would just come to support the whole thing because he loved the sport. And he's like, "You watch, I'm gonna be a top pro," and I'm like, because I remember when he won the bantamweight class at the Nationals, and I'm like, you know what, I have no doubt, because he was completely natural back then, and so you know when you get a guy who's got well-trained muscle, it's natural. When they start taking stuff, their body just explodes because you know. They know how to eat. They know how to train. Their bodies just thrive on that. So
I think it always helps when you're an athlete before you bodybuild, you know, or you know have some natural muscle there before you just start loading up like crazy. That's why it's like Nick's body. I don't know what he's gonna be able to look like in 5 years. He's gonna burn out. Is it gonna be a Trey Brewer?
No, Trey Brewer never even got a pro card. Nick is well beyond that. You know, I think Nick will be a good pro. He'll win a couple Arnold Classics. He should do the Arnold Classic this year. I think he's the shoe-in winner there. I can't see anyone beating him. And, you know, I think he's going to have trouble winning the Olympia. The only way he can win the Olympia is if the shape guys, as I call them, are off. So, I mean, imagine – if Hadi didn't have a visa and didn't get here this year, and Derek was a little off, I mean, Nick would be Mr. Olympia right now. We would be having a different conversation. So he's third place. He's not far off. You know, he's right there. The problem is he's going to have trouble beating the guys that have the tiny waist and the showy muscles when they're in shape. So he has to just keep showing up and showing up. That's why I said that I'd like to see Nick do the Arnold Classic every year because I think that's a show that he could own. He could win that show almost every year. Very few people will be able to beat him at that show.
Do you think he should try to get those veins taken care of?
No, not yet. Maybe later in life. I would, because once you start fucking with veins and stuff like that, you start compromising circulation. Yep. And if the vein doctor that I'm sure he's gone to says everything's moving, the blood's moving well in there, I would just leave it alone. Because any kind of surgery on your,
Dave, what causes people to get them at a young age? Usually you see people older age.
It's genetic. You probably because what happens is the veins have valves in them because there's no pressure in the veins. So by the time the blood gets into the veins, the heart that's pumping the blood has no pressure in the veins because the blood has to get back to the heart. So what the veins have is valves and don't let the blood go backwards. Okay. Mm-hmm. And every time you walk and use your muscles, that milks that blood back to the heart, especially from your lower body. The problem occurs when when the valves inside those veins break. And now the blood can go back in the other direction. And then you get pooling. And that's when you get those varicose veins. And that is usually due to veins that are, weak because they genetically are weak. Now, obviously being as big as he is and putting the veins under tremendous pressure in the gym when he's training, that doesn't help, of course. But you can't blame bodybuilding for that because otherwise everyone would have them and everyone doesn't have them. So he probably has a family predisposition for weak valves in his veins until it's bothering him, pain-wise, or it's just, maybe the blood is clotting in there and it's not moving. I wouldn't touch them at that point. He's young still.
Yeah, the anabolic doc was saying that it was actually based on bodybuilding. He was giving an explanation about it on Instagram.
It's moronic because otherwise everyone would have them and everyone doesn't have them. Come on.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going up into his quads a little bit now.
It's like when people got mad when I said Dallas McCarver died because he was genetically predisposed to heart disease. Of course he was. Otherwise, every 20-something-year-old would be dropping dead of a heart attack,
Yeah.
And he had a 90% blockage at 26 years old in his coronary arteries. Guys in their 90s don't have a 90% blockage. So it wasn't the steroids that did it because everyone takes steroids. It's the fact that he had a family predisposition on top of all the food he's eating, on top of the steroid. It's everything combined. But that genetic predisposition has to be there first. You know,
people like to talk about bodybuilders and the hearts all the time. You know, my wife, she's a doctor at the heart hospital. Okay, so there's young guys in there all the time that don't bodybuild at all, heart failure, blockages. I mean, everything wrong with their heart. Young people, and they don't bodybuild at all. So, but every time a bodybuilder, it's just, you know, it's just steroids. But you know,
yeah. But it's also like that. That's also, but also it also comes down to like the right clinics too. Like because some of the prerequisite questions that at least the clinic that I'm partners in asks the people coming on board. It's like, hey, do you have any family history? You know, like, you know, of cancer, of heart palpitations, etc. Because that makes it more susceptible of you actually having something like that. Because then we take that into consideration, you know, when it comes to like writing protocols. Because that's why I personally think if Dallas McCarver knew of that, and the people that were coaching him behind that probably should have been more cautious or more aware of it.
He was told when he had the heart issue in Australia, when he almost collapsed on stage, or did collapse on the stage, he was told to get checked out when he got back, and he never went and did what he needed to do. And you know what? So I think he was afraid they were going to tell him no more bodybuilding, no more steroids, and I don't think he wanted to hear that. But you know what? He could have gone and gotten a stent in there, and they could have told him no more, and he could have still done it. But at least he would have had the stent opening the vessel up, so he could have gotten blood flow to his heart.
And got on some meds too, you know, some statins.
Yeah, I mean, come on. There's always a way around everything. I mean, you don't have to listen to the doctors, but if they tell you have I don't think he knew he had a 90% blockage, but he didn't go for the test that would have told him that. So that was bad on him. And I know a lot of guys nowadays, and I have to say I'm very happy, and I think I'm one of the people that really reinforced this, was go for a cardiac CT scan of your heart. You know, if a guy comes into one of your clinics and he has an LDL cholesterol of 250 when it should be 100, you're not going to put the guy on HRT until he gets that under control. So you know, a LDL of 250, you don't get that from eating fucking bad food. You get that because you have a family predisposition on top of maybe not eating the right foods. I immediately try to get guys on essential fatty acids like my Omega Lyes. I put them on Fiber Lyes because that lowers LDLs. And if that doesn't make a big impact on their LDL levels, that means they do have a family predisposition genetically. And they better, number one, go get a cardiac CT scan, see if they have any blockages. If they do, address it. If they don't, do something to prophylactically prevent that. And in those cases, and I hate those statin drugs, I really do. But in cases of a genetic problem with high LDL, you have to take something to lower it. And those people should take statins.
Dave, what was the results of your this test when you did it on the heart?
I have zero plaque.
Oh, zero plaque.
Yeah,
wow.
my problem. Yeah, but I have an enlarged aorta, so I have to keep an eye on that. Look, you're never out of the water. There's always something going on with everyone, but at least I have awareness of that. And so every year I go for a cardiac CT scan. They check my aorta to make sure it hasn't gotten any bigger in size. And that's probably a family predisposition too. Boston Lloyd's dad had that. He had to have it repaired. And then he told Boston about it. And we don't know if Boston actually did anything about it or went to the doctor, but that's what he died of. His aorta ruptured. And that's a genetic weakness he had. And so,
Dave, is there something that you have to do surgery-wise, or you're just watching it now to see if it's okay?
A lot of people do have enlarged aortas. They don't even know it, most people. I just got lucky because I'm a neurotic and go for a million tests. As long as it's stable and it doesn't get bigger, then they're fine. They don't want to do anything. They just watch it. Every year they do a scan. Once it starts, if it starts enlarging, then they will go in there and they will repair it. Now, the good thing is with an aorta is if they do have to repair it and they can do it prophylactically, in other words, before it ruptures, okay, they can make they don't have to open your whole chest up. They make a little incision above your sternum, actually, and they can just go in there and you still have to go in a heart-lung machine. It's not a surgery you want to have, believe me. But they go in there and they put a synthetic, aorta in there and they repair it. If it gets to the point where it ruptures, like Boston didn't have to die. Boston had pain.
If he went and got the checks that you got, he would have been able to watch it and take the precaution.
Let's say it ruptured like it did in the gym. He was in extreme pain and he would not let his wife take him to the hospital. She should have taken him anyway, but he wouldn't let her. You know, Boston, he was against doctors.
He doesn't
And had he gone to the hospital, they would have checked. They would have seen that the aorta ruptured and it was leaking blood, and they could have gone in there. They would have had to open him up under emergency. He would have had his whole chest open, but they would have fixed it. Chris Dim, that happened to. Chris Dim was in the gym. His aorta ruptured. It's called an aortic dissection. They took him, rushed him to the hospital. Miraculously, he lived, and he was fine. And he actually competed. He had it fixed, and he actually competed or a year or two later after that. And he qualified for the Olympia. Then he had to go back in because his descending aorta also had weakness in it, and they wanted to fix that. And that's when he had that problem with they somehow compromised one of his spinal cord in some way. It got severed or something like that during the surgery, which is always a risk on that surgery. And then he wound up, losing the use of his legs, unfortunately. But
how rare is that?
It's more common than you think, I think, and so that's why if you go for a regular cardiac CT scan, like I was telling people with contrast, they'll see your aorta too. They'll measure it. If it's over a certain amount, then that means your aorta is enlarging. They know the standard sizes of it. So once again, that's something that's detectable. Blockages in the coronary arteries, detectable. And this is non-invasive. You lay in a machine and they take a picture. 10 minutes it takes,
Think about how many deaths can be avoided if people actually went to the doctor, because there's so many people who believe in never going to the doctor ever for a checkup or anything.
We have one on this panel right here. His name is Mr. G. Right, George?
Well, hold on. What about being super fit?
Well, you guys know.
What about being fit? Like my client, he came to me 12 years ago, and then he found out like 5 years later he had a 90% blockage, but his heart formed other capillary or whatever blood vessels to compensate.
Do you want to bank on that, or would you rather know?
No, I'm not banking. No.
Wait, why do you not go to the doctor? You don't want to know if something's wrong with you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Because I don't feel anything.
Doesn't matter. You don't have to feel shit.
Sometimes
he's 63. He hasn't had a colonoscopy.
No, I'm 65. Hold on. I'm 65. I'm jumping rope. I'm training for fun. I'm doing all sorts of things.
He wants to die in the 100-foot wave. That's what he wants to do.
You don't go for a physical or checkup or the finger in the ass? Nothing?
Nothing he goes for.
No.
Wow.
No, I mean, I'm going to start doing. I just heard that doing ice baths before you work out.
Wait a second. I'm going to say something.
Increase your testosterone by 500%.
No, my grandfather used to.
Making your shot increases it by 1,000%.
What? You know what's sad? Yeah. You know what's sad? But listen, you know what's sad? Jerry Ward didn't go to the doctor.
Oh, he didn't? I didn't know that.
No, I know he never went to the doctor ever.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What happened to Jerry Ward?
That makes me think, imagine if he went to the doctor, they could have seen something that could have prevented him from getting the stroke.
Oh, you talking about the guy who just died?
Jerry, one of the greatest guys you'll ever know.
Amazing guy, man. Amazing guy.
Yeah. So a lot of deaths couldn't be avoided. People go to the doctors.
Wouldn't it be terrible, George, if you had like a blockage you didn't know about it? They could have put a step in there.
Okay. Because I'm on the show, I'll go. Because because we know we have links. So I'll go, but I'm not going to give up jumping rope, doing the ice baths.
No, I'm telling you to give up. We just want to make sure you should doing it.
No,
wait, George, when was the last time you got a blood test?
What?
When was the last time you got a blood test?
Never.
Okay, wait.
They can't even stick a needle through his skin. It's so
Rich, you should send him a kit. Okay,
I'm gonna send you a home. Send me your address. I'm gonna send you a home test kit.
And then we read and have Dave go over the results.
They'll probably be perfect, I'm sure. But you know what? You got to go for a cardiac CT scan. You can go for one. You don't even need a doctor's prescription. You can go. It's $59. You call up the radiology place by your house and make an appointment. Say you don't have insurance.
See, Dave, that's good information right there. Only $60.
$60 for a cardiac CT calcium score. If the calcium comes back high, then you can go for the higher up one that they do the contrast in you. But go for the regular CT scan, $59. Richard will send you the blood work test so you can see what your blood work is. And then if there's something wrong, you probably should go for a colonoscopy too at some point, just so you don't get colon cancer, But
God forbid, God forbid, you should.
Well, it's fibrillized. Doesn't fibrillized prevent that?
You never know. I don't know if it runs. Does anything run in your family, cancer-wise?
My dad had lung cancer from smoking.
Yeah, that's not the same thing. Yeah,
no. There's no. My mom's 89 years old.
No, you guys have longevity, but you still should get checked out. There's no reason.
But Dave, I'm also training. I'm also doing extreme.
It doesn't matter. Guys drop dead training.
Does not matter. Does not matter.
Oh, so you mean are you going to be like exercise doesn't matter?
No, it makes you healthier. But if you have something genetically that happens to just, all right, at 60 years old, all of a sudden you start growing polyps in your colon. You don't know
you can't change, but you can't change your genetics.
No.
Wait,
what about sometimes there's also
what about
things
George? When you're sick, you got the flu, you need antibiotics. Do you go to the doctor?
No, I immediately.
You just suffer like an asshole in your fucking bed?
No, I don't suffer. I have my whole protocol, and then I pray.
Wait, what is this protocol? Explain to me this protocol.
Give us the
What's your protocol? What's your protocol?
The protocol is I get the vitamin C packets or whatever they are. Yeah, I'll go get one. I'll show you.
Whatever they are.
This is amazing. I can't believe he doesn't even go for the fucking when he's sick like that. He needs antibiotics for something. What if he gets some shit on his dick?
That's insane. That's insane.
It's crazy.
He'll just call it. If he gets something on.
Yeah, he needs a documentary. Dude, all three of these guys need a documentary. You found the most interesting guy to put on this show, Dave. I give you that.
At least Greg goes to the doctor.
Oh, Greg,
if he gets something on his if he gets something on his dick, he'll just call Greg.
Here's I take these packets here.
He'll take a scissor and cut it off. That's all.
These two packets I take, and then I take the alkaline water.
Oh,
right?
What's in those packets you got there?
These are 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C.
Yeah, like emergency based.
Right.
Well, everything, right?
So I do that, and then I'll drink the Ramy noodle soup.
Wait a minute. If you have high fever, 103-degree fever, what do you do?
If I had that, I'd go in an ice bath.
Take
the aspirin. And hold on.
I'm pretty sick right now. I just started antibiotics.
But I don't. That doesn't happen because as soon as I feel a little something,
he'll give you a much better cure than the doctors will, Armand.
What's that?
Let Mr. G diagnose you and give you the medicine you need. You'll get better much quicker.
Well, it's a protocol. I mean, I'm following a healthy lifestyle, and I am keeping my cardio way up there.
I'll give George
this. Antibiotics though.
When I got COVID, he was in the car with me. I thought he gave it to me because I was like, "How the heck?"
Oh yeah, they blame you guys.
He was exposed to the guy who works for me downstairs in my steak room. Everyone had COVID. Except
we were almost. We beat the guy. We were doing it. We were grappling with the army. I was grappling with him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He got no COVID. He was the only one who didn't get sick.
What?
If he did get COVID, he would have died because he doesn't go to the fucking doctor.
No,
what,
he doesn't.
The flu? You mean the flu?
I think he's immune.
Oh, this is the flu. It's just the flu.
Have you ever got blood work? Like,
wait, when was the last time you actually went to a doctor?
He can't even remember.
Wow. Wow.
1985, he went to the doctor. Probably.
No, 14 years ago because I wanted penicillin.
Oh, what do you need?
He's like, no, George, we don't give penicillin anymore. That was from 1965. He's like, oh, well, what do you got now for me?
Because I had like some form. I wanted to get rid of the bronchitis quicker. I could have got rid of it on my own, but I wanted to get rid of it quicker. So you have to get a prescription.
So you're suffering, you may go.
So are you like one of these herbal remedy guys that likes to do research?
I believe in medicine. No, hold on. I believe in both. You know, I'm not gonna I believe in utilizing both, but I believe in more no drugs than drugs for anything.
No, I'm all for
George. Let me ask you a question. Wait,
that's why I was talking about the ice bath. Look, I wasn't bullshitting about the ice baths they use after you train, but not immediately after you train to recover. But they just are just on Rogan. A guy did an ice bath before he worked out. It increases testosterone by 500%, and his PSI. The PSI, what is that? The PSI for that they check for colon cancer or prostate cancer.
Yes, sir.
It was like at 15. It went down to like 3.
Yeah. Because he froze his nuts off. That's why.
George, let me ask you a question.
Prostate was killed. He basically destroyed
Dave. Oh, wait. I got a great thing. So if he's going to send me that test, check my testosterone levels. I'm going to start doing those ice baths.
All right.
All right. Let's see what my testosterone does without.
George, if you're with some girl, right, and you were fucking her, next day you wake up, the dick is itching, burning when you pee. Would you go to the doctor then?
Well, that's not going to happen because I'm not going to be with any girl. I'm only with one.
Oh, I didn't know you were with one.
Yeah, I'm with one. Summer. That's it. Yeah, I mean, so that's it for me.
We should do a portion of the show, Dave, like we do. Is somebody a good guy? We should do one with George saying, "Would you go to the doctor if?" And we come to reason and see if
we can probably hold on, George. This is the real question. Do you have health insurance? That's the question.
He's thinking.
I'm 65. No.
Can't you get like Medicare at your age?
Yeah, you could get. Yeah,
you should have Medicare at your age.
It's free.
Dave,
it's free.
What do I need, Dave? What do I need the doctor for? Only if I need to go there, I'll go.
Are you collecting Social Security?
No, I'm not collecting. I'm not.
You know how much one day in the hospital will cost you? They'll fuck you for like 30, 40 grand, dude.
George, you should at least have Medicare. That's free. They give it to you when you turn a certain age.
Yeah. I'm going to be 65 Christmas Day.
Yeah,
isn't it illegal not to have medical insurance?
At 65, you collect Social Security, your maximum, which might not be that high. I don't know how many years you worked on the books. And then you also should be getting Medicare. That's part of your that's what you get when you get to be that age. So make sure you get that, George. Don't forget about that.
I thought it's illegal not to have health insurance in this country now. Dave?
What? No, I don't think so.
I thought it was illegal to not.
No, I think they did away with that now. I don't think.
You think I give a fuck about what the government's going to try and tell me what to do? Fuck them. I'm listening to anything they say.
George,
bullshit. Well, they're going to tell me how to take care of my kids, how to live, how to eat, what to take. No way.
George, that's what. Look, the dentist.
I want to be a role model for people to be healthy and fit, but I also don't want to not go to the doctor and get checked out neither, because that's not a good message neither.
Thank you. Yes.
So I want to, but I want to advocate health and fitness and being fit and having a quality of life while you're here on this earth, and then praying I also pray to God every morning. I listen to Billy Graham. I pray to God every day, every single day. So I have a positive mindset, which is also important to healing.
George, what about the dentist?
Our mom will know is what your wife's is a heart doctor.
She's a physical therapist at the heart hospital.
Right.
So she does wound backs and all that, and rehabs them, picks them, all that stuff. But yeah, she's a doctor of physical therapy at the heart.
Right. So the mind is a big psychologically how people who want to get better and have a positive mindset.
Absolutely, George.
Well, yeah. This is real. This is not just like hyperbole of making stuff up. No, this is real. So these are things that the medicine doesn't do prevention, because they don't make money off of prevention. They make money off of a drug. But my thing is, what if a drug is a person? So if someone gets diabetes, they get prescribed Dave Palumbo on Zoom, right? So you have 400 clients, right, that the insurance pays for you, and you do a 5-minute Zoom call twice a week. I'm just saying, and to keep them in check.
What you're really saying is the reason what we practice on a daily basis: eating right, taking your supplements, working out, getting enough sleep, staying in a positive mindset. That's the best. Preventative medicine is the best way not to get sick. But, sometimes people get sick. It happens, and so you have to have some sort of a backup. You have to have some health insurance.
Taking your car in to check the engine.
Right.
How's my engine looking?
Right. Doesn't mean anything's wrong with it, but you want to at least know that there's nothing wrong with it. You don't want to just drop dead in the middle of surfing on the ocean.
But I also want to be the one that's a pioneer in doing things like having an MMA UFC 3-round 5-minute fight at 65 at the Mr. Olympia at Orlando.
Hold on, I have a good fight for you. None of these big Lennys that don't know how to fight.
No, I'm not doing that.
Why don't you fight Chuck Zito?
No, I'm not doing that.
Why?
First of all, no.
Why not? He's looking for
number one.
He's looking for an opponent his age. You're younger than him.
Chuck's not looking to do that now.
Why? I bet he would if you would.
No, it wouldn't. There's nothing. There's nothing to benefit from either one of us.
You guys can raise money for charity. You like to do that.
I got a Dave. Next year, I got a different one, and it's going to blow up your mind.
Who?
I can't tell you who. I'll let you know. It's going to be the biggest thing ever. Anyway. It's going to be the biggest thing ever. What?
It's never going to happen anyway, so you might as well tell
us. No, hold on. It's going to happen.
Someone
who's really super relevant right now.
Are you fighting Big Ramy?
I'm going to challenge for $1 million. I'm going to make $1 million challenge.
Who? The Liver King.
Oh, that's a good idea.
What's going on? I haven't heard from what's going on with him now. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah,
I'm happy. No,
Greg, the Lion King. He should be out of the Lion King. $1 million.
You're gonna fight
$1 million.
He's a lot younger than you are, George.
What?
He's a lot younger than you are.
I don't care what he is.
All right.
He should be able to roll over me. I'm missing 10 teeth. I'm 65 years old. I'm decrepit. So you should be able to steamroll over me.
You're going to challenge the Liver King to a fight? Is that the idea?
Yeah, for $1 million.
I knew it. See, how did I fucking know it, Dave?
Who's putting up the $1 million?
He is.
Well, what about if you lose?
Hold on, and I'll tell you why. This is someone who proposed to help kids that feel depressed and suicidal, and people who are suicidal. And he bullshitted. And he's the liar king. He's a charlatan. That's all I'm saying. Here's a way for him to bring himself back. All the money he made, right? So if you made $150 million, put up $1 million. All right. And I'm going to take that money and I'm going to build the stuff for a gym for vets and kids right here in Florida. That'll be the seed. And you could say that it's for charity. So it's a win-win. Right? I win, you give me the money, all right? Either way, you can't lose. Right. You should be able to beat me. I'm decrepit. I'm old. I got teeth missing.
Well, but what does he have to gain by fighting you, though?
His reputation, his honor.
Why you?
Because I'm the perfect candidate. He should be able to steamroll over me. I'm giving him, right? What?
Look, what if he, maybe he knows how to fight. You don't even know if he knows how to fight.
Dave, listen to me, Dave. You don't understand. I don't care. When
he likes raw organs.
I'm taking all the vets that we're helping suffering from post-traumatic stress, all those guys who died, all the kids who were picked on, all right, that he lied to. I'm taking them in the ring with me.
Oh, I want to just stop you for a second. You do watch the stuff that he does, right? It's kind of similar to you. It's kind of similar to your crazy.
We talk about it. He's walking around with kettlebells. That's bullshit.
He drags sleds with people on the back. I mean, he does functional training. He's not Big Lenny. He can move this guy.
Dave, I wanted so Big Lenny's not a challenge, then, is it?
No, he's not a challenge at all.
Well, right, Mr. G, hold on a second. Did you guess when I guessed and I said Liver King? Was that you just agreeing with me, or was that?
No, I had the idea because I want to. I legitimately
right, John.
I was right, yeah.
Because people reach out to me all the time to help them for real. I mean, I'm doing it for a reason. Yeah.
George, so this guy does the same shit you do. I would be very nervous.
He's riding a fucking horse. I'll pull a horse. Horse will ride me.
I'm telling you, he does a lot of the same shit you do. He's not going to be a pushover, this guy,
Dave.
He's strong.
What is it about being a pushover? Has nothing to do with it.
I'm just telling you, he's an animal. He's a crazy lunatic.
Dave, what's he doing? He's walking.
I'm just doing this for effect.
I was just surfing. I was just surfing for 2 hours at the pier, right? Taking off on waves.
Look, he's surfing too. Look at him surfing, George.
Yeah, that's not him surfing.
Yeah, it is.
He's surfing, George. Don't get jealous.
He's doing wakeboarding. All right, good.
This guy has talent, George. You might underestimate your opponent here. This guy might crush you.
He's athletic.
He's a lot younger than you.
I fear nobody but the man upstairs.
He eats raw meat and bones and all kinds of stuff, you know.
And when we get ready to set the challenge down for real, I'm just laying it out there. We'll do it, and then we'll, you know.
I'm just saying, don't get involved in someone who might be able to beat you. You don't want to lose, do you?
I can't lose, Dave. You understand? I can't lose.
Crazier than you are, George. I got news
what?
for you. This guy might be crazier than you are. I think he stole your idea. This should have been you years
Dave,
ago.
I was training with 20-year-olds. I'm not. I mean, and not only that,
the same crazy shit years
my
ago.
body's not been banged around.
You should start doing your own YouTube channel. I mean, your own Instagram like this. You'll have 1 million followers. You got to do crazy shit like he does.
You saw his videos before he was crazy, though, right?
I run on the beach, pulling.
I know, but you got to have your son videotape everything you're doing.
Yeah, why are you not filming this shit?
He's got tanks. He does. This guy is very creative too.
Yeah, but this is all serious aside. This is a way for me to bring awareness and to raise the money for the vets, for a gym for the vets and kids who are suffering from depression or what have you. A nonprofit. It's a way for him to bring back his reputation, because he says he cares and he can't lose, because then the money is donated to charity.
Well, maybe
it's a win-win.
Maybe he doesn't want to put up $1 million, since you're not really putting up anything. Usually it works this way. You put up half, he puts up half.
I'm giving him an opportunity. That's what I'm doing. I'm giving him an opportunity to do something.
No, well, he's giving you the opportunity because he's
he's not. I'm the one.
He's the celebrity. He was worth millions and millions of dollars.
But he lied. He's a charlatan, just like all the politicians. Lied.
But George, the guy might have lied about taking steroids, but the guy still looks good and he still trains hard.
No, he said he was. It's not what I'm talking about. He said he was helping kids. That's my focus. You're getting. I don't care about the steroid thing. He was helping kids,
did he just say
and he lied.
Did he say kids?
He lied to the kids. That's what I'm saying. He lied, Dave. Yeah. I don't care about this line about taking steroids. He lied to the kids, said he was helping kids, and he wasn't.
I think George is actually pissed.
Yeah, he is.
So, I mean, something has to be said. Put it up. So now, okay, you came in, and he did it in character.
He's pretty strong, George. I don't know.
Who cares about a kettlebell?
George, I haven't seen you doing this in years. I don't know. This guy
that would throw out my back right there.
This is functional training, man. Look at him carrying the shit.
Dave, I surf. I run underwater with 20-pound dumbbells on my tiptoes. All right, I do all sorts of, and I fight.
This shit. Send us
I fight.
This shit.
You better start doing some videos like this, because I don't know. I want to see if you're capable of doing this shit, because this guy's got.
Are you kidding me?
Skills.
I'll do it right now.
Next week, have a video so we can see it.
Mr. G is jealous, they're saying.
He is jealous.
Just have a video of doing this. What is that?
All right,
30 pounds.
Mr. G is jealous because he could have done this.
Listen, Dave, my whole training place had trampolines. Was this?
He's amped up.
George, I love you, man. All right.
Come on, hey, Dave.
We'll try to.
What fucking rolling a tire? That's not like rolling a person. That's not like having somebody having a 300-pound guy jump on you and trying to choke you. Because when I was training, that's what I was doing.
All right,
that's training.
All right,
you could do all that stuff, lift weights.
Liver King, if you're listening to this broadcast, which you probably are not, because no sane person.
No, Dave.
If you're listening, Mr. G challenges you. Here's the deal: you put up $1 million. And if Mr. G kicks your ass, then he basically clears your name. If you kick his ass, then I don't know. What does that mean? If
hold on, the $1 million is for your charity, a nonprofit.
So Mr. G basically
puts up the million. Since he made $150 million on lying, do the right thing. You can take at least $1 million. You made $150 million.
Look, I understand what you're doing. So what you're going to do is you're going to sacrifice yourself so that the Liver King donates $1 million to a good charity or a cause, and you will take the beating from him just to show that you're a good guy and that you want to, and then that'll clear his name because it'll show goodwill on his part of giving the $1 million away.
Right, that someone can come back from being, the people who do the most evil can do the most good.
You're like Jesus. You're basically sacrificing yourself for the betterment of the veterans. And
everyone has to bear a cross.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
All right. Everyone has to bear a cross. What happened to your eye?
It's perfect. It's the Christmas season.
My son,
perfect.
My 3-year-old son.
Oh, because I've been wanting to ask you because I saw that on your eye.
Yeah. We spoke about that, dude.
That's been lasting a long time too.
I've told a bunch of people on TikTok. I've been asked about. I do lives. At least 4,000 people has asked. Like 4,000, literally. I said.
What you should have done, Armand, is you should have gotten a magic marker and you should have made a mark on the other side too, and you could have just said, "I play football on the weekends," and it's Greece. It's just.
You should have said it was you and your wife were fucking, and she hit you too hard.
That's great.
That's a Jimmy the Bull
like, why has your eye been like that for 3 weeks? You're not healing right. I'm like, it's been 7 days. It hasn't been 3 weeks.
Yeah,
but everybody's like, finally someone beat your ass. TikTok's a crazy world, but yeah, it's like it's not.
The last week when
you got beat up.
Yeah, last week when you weren't around, Bravo, it's like they were talking about how like even like Leo came over and I whooped his ass, like a whole bunch of different stuff.
Oh, Leo. No, him and Tony are still living together. They're living together. Can you guys believe that him and Tony are living together now?
The odd couple. Yeah, there you go.
Tony has a supplement that is a statin he's selling now. I was telling Dave, like, he's selling a Bicelic, or what's it called? He's a statin. He's telling people it's good for your heart to take it.
Is he taking it?
Don't take statins unless your LDL is through the roof.
Well, you know what he was telling people the other day? No, look. Oral minoxidil. Okay, that can cause a heart problem, right? That's one of the side effects of it. He's telling people I'm taking like 100 times the dose.
Dude, he's giving out
him and Leo. Him and fucking Leo. They're taking.
Yeah, people's like, oh, Leo's so dude. He's giving that. They're giving out death recipes to people.
Who would take a fucking medicine that is known on a side effect as heart failure on the regular dosage and go takes the 100 times amount to see if it grows back more fucking hair?
People are idiots. That's what the problem is.
Yeah, he's selling a statin, telling people it's heart healthy. So you're not gonna go.
I love Tony. Don't take me wrong, but that's some dumb shit.
That's insane.
You love who?
Oh, Tony. I said I love Tony. Don't take me wrong, but that's some dumb shit he's doing.
Okay. Tony's he's a salesman. That's all. That's what.
Does he have enough money though? Like,
I guess he's living a lavish lifestyle. He needs to keep making more.
He has a harem now. He's got like 5-6 fucking.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It don't matter. Money's not going to make you happy anyway. It's once you have the money, then
the harem might make him happy. I don't know about the money, but the harem definitely.
But no, you have the money. Then what do you do? Then it's the ride's over.
The harem is really what's making him happy.
John,
hey Dave, could you put that body, that trucker guy that lost weight that has a transformation thing?
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't have access to it right now.
You think he's paying him decent though?
I don't think he's paying him anything.
I don't think he's paying. Yeah, I don't think he's paying him. I think they're just like.
He might be letting him live there for free, but
I mean, Leo looks like wears the same black shirt and these shorts. He looks like Hitler in every picture. He looks like Hitler in his pictures. The way he stands, I'm like, holy, this is like a dictator. He looks like a dictator. Like
he put that mustache now, like Hitler.
He got that, and when he does a picture of these black shorts, a t-shirt, he's like,
yeah, he puts his hands behind his back all the time.
Yeah, it's like. God.
And you know what's funny? You know he's watching this shit too. He watches all of these.
What's up, Leo?
That's the thing that's funny about it. He watches all of
them. You know what the sad part is? You can't even make this stuff up. You don't even have to even embellish anything. It's just we have a lot of insane characters in our industry for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to wish everyone a happy. I don't know if you celebrate the holidays. If you're celebrating the holidays, have Merry Christmas. If you're not,
everyone have a
Christmas. Peaceful weekend. We'll be back obviously on Tuesday before New Year's to do our New Year's show and recap the whole year of what went on. And I just want to thank all you guys and just tell you guys I appreciate you. And I really had a real great year with all you guys. I thought the chemistry on the show is just awesome. Even when one guy's not there, the other guys fill in, and I think we really have something magical here that happens every week. And a lot of people reach out to me on a weekly basis and tell me, you know what, they live for when this show goes live. They just can't get enough of it. It really puts them in a good mood, and they really love the show. So that means a lot to me because, we do this every week. Everyone shows up. I don't have to send you guys reminders. Everyone knows 1 o'clock. We're going to do it on Tuesday. And it's just, it's like a hangout we do every week. And it's just, it's really good. So, thank you.
Yeah, and I think the lineup got really good. Like, we're all comfortable with each other now. We know when to speak, when not to speak. Sometimes we fight for words, but I think like it's getting better as we get more comfortable with each other.
I mean, it's almost impossible to not talk over when there's 7 people. I mean,
well, one time there was fucking like 15 people here one time.
Yeah.
Well, we do it in person.
And the entire comment section was like, there's just way too many people here.
They're like, there's way too many people, but can you get a few more in there?
But if they take away from you, then they're going to complain. Like, what happened to the other people on the show?
Right.
Like, let's say half of us left. They're going to be like, why'd y'all get rid of people? Yeah. It's not the same.
Yeah, I have yet to see, like, I've probably seen like only like 2 negative comments. But everything was like just positive. Like,
the funny thing is the guys that give the negative comments are the biggest fans of the show. They never miss an episode, those guys,
Yeah.
Which is ironic.
Pretty much.
A lot of them are just trolling just because they like
Dave,
the show.
I told you, and I think he communicates with you. I met a guy who was a fan of the show at the gym here in Jersey, and he loves the show, and he's a younger kid.
Yeah.
And I was shocked. He's like, I've never missed an episode of this. So it shows you, people love this show.
No, it's you know what? Sometimes I have a headache when the show's over, and those are usually the best shows, but it allows people that when they're in a bad mood or they're feeling depressed, they watch the show and you cannot not be in a good mood after watching the show. It's impossible.
Especially after finding out about the enemas, Mr. G never going to the fucking doctor, Greg Valentino's collection of the house with all the statues and the bullshit. They love it.
Oh yeah.
We're so I was eating fruit one time and said Armand's so unprofessional. He's eating fruit like
I saw
we're
that.
talking about enemas and eating ass and having sex with ass.
Right.
You're like, why is this guy eating on camera?
And I'm eating fruit. I'm so unprofessional.
Yeah. Greg eating an ass is not more unprofessional than you having an apple on the show. Yeah, exactly.
I still can't believe Greg goes bathroom shits behind the dumpsters in restaurants.
What else?
You'd go to jail for that. If there was a cop that came by, he'd be in fucking prison for shitting outside.
You know what the funny thing is? He's the guy who always
in Florida. He would.
He's the guy who'll go shit behind a dumpster and some fucking hot girl will walk by as shit is blowing out of his ass, and he'll say something funny to her too. He won't even be embarrassed. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, he doesn't even care. Wow. He'll be like, I'm proud of this. Look, come look at it.
Can you help me wipe my ass, please?
Yeah.
I can't reach around.
He'll show it to her. He's like, look what I did.
All right, Dave, I want to
get him to Florida.
Guys,
Florida.
What?
I
want to give a shout out to go off the top. Shout out to one of our fans, Dave.
What?
Shout out to one of our fans. I sent you the video, but you can't pull it up.
Yeah,
Lee Price is a trucker from out in the Midwest who's been a longtime fan of the show.
Cool.
And he got up to like 340 pounds and decided he was going to document him getting in shape. You've helped. He's emailed you a lot of times, Dave. You helped the guy.
Yep.
He's going to you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep. I know.
He's doing it because he loves his family and he has grandkids. He's just a regular, normal guy out there. He's already lost 62 pounds.
Awesome.
So his channel is Lee Price. It sounds like Lee Priest.
Yeah.
Lee Price, right?
Yeah.
Body transformation. Follow him on YouTube if you can.
All right.
Lee Price, keep going to get down to 220, bro.
Oh, by the way,
prayers for Jimmy. Hope Jimmy's okay.
Oh, Jimmy, yes. Let's say Jimmy before you do that, Dave. Everyone, Jimmy, we wish you get better. All right, get better. Well, we all love you, Jimmy.
We love
you.
If
Dave doesn't answer his phone, it means he's too busy. Not too busy for you. He loves you. You're in his heart everywhere he goes.
That's right. And I wanted to say, Charles Gaines sent me this, this new edition of Pumping Iron here. Wow. Charles Gaines and George Butler did this book. I don't even know how many years ago now. And this is what the movie was made based on the book. The book came first, and it's a beautiful book. It's got added stuff in there. Arnold wrote something in here, and it's and look who's in the very first page of the book. Can you guys identify that person?
I can't even see. I'm on my phone.
Leon Brown. Our friend
Leon Brown. Yeah.
Oh,
he was in the original Pumping Iron book. That's his picture. So
holy mackerel.
Check it out. It's on Amazon.com. You can buy the new Pumping Iron. It's the new edition with the Arnold word in the front, and it's. I'm going to get Charles Gaines after the holidays on the show, and we'll talk about the making of this book in the movie, because that changed the course of the public and how they perceive bodybuilders, and so it took us to where we are today, which is amazing. Where we've come from. Arnold said he made, I think, $1,000 when he won the Olympia for the first time or something like that. $1,000 he made. That's it. And that was back in like the 70s, early 70s. And think about where it is. This Hadi Choopan won $400,000. That's like worth like $10 million in Iran. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's a great story because what's going on in Iran now? They're prosecuting.
Are worth a ton of money. And
it's gone up a lot too. Because how much was Ronnie Coleman making? Like $100,000 back then, right? When Ronnie won.
Yeah, probably.
Was it much? Yeah, 150, I think.
Maybe 150. Yeah.
Is it going to be in Orlando this year? Orlando.
Yes.
Oh man, great. We're all going, right, Dave? We're all going to go.
I will be going. Yes, I will be at that show.
That'll be awesome. Maybe we'll do like a bros versus pros, like tug of war on the beach.
We should do a live
on the beach, a surf and surfing, some type of surfing thing.
You can surf. We'll rent the conference room at the hotel, and we'll have like a camera out filming you.
No, I'll get you guys. I'll have a thing for the kids. I'll get you guys surf. So we should do something Sunday for the families, for the kids, because Orlando's a much better place to go.
That's true.
Than Vegas.
Yeah,
Vegas is just partying,
especially in the winter, because it was freezing in Vegas. It was like 18 degrees there.
But there's nothing to do for you. You can't bring your family. All these athletes can bring their families now and maybe do something on Sunday after the event.
Yeah,
that's what I recommend.
We made it for an hour and a half. They're going to be
Mr. G was doing free surf lessons, and then after the surf lessons, he'll be fighting the Liver King on the beach in Orlando. So that's for next season. Book your tickets now, because there's going to be standing room only on the beach there in Orlando. But that's it for today, guys. We are out of time. I'm Dave Palumbo for the entire Whack Pack. Have a great holiday weekend. We'll see you next week.
Later, guys.
Merry Christmas, guys.
All right. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.